Hey guys, it is Saturday here on Pagan Perspective. I'm your Saturday host, Brendan, and this week we are talking about evolving practices. So the question this week comes from Tyler Evans, and they talk about their experience currently. They've been studying for 3 years as a solitary eclectic practitioner, and they're really trying to talk about the labels and identity that fits with what they're going through. They were identifying as Wiccan, but they don't particularly practice any of the 8 Sabbats or honor the 8 Sabbats that happen. And their question to us is really about, it's a 2-part question. So, have your beliefs ever shifted to the point where you felt you need to change how you identify your practice? And the second question is, do any of you focus less on the Wheel of the Year and more on some other facets of paganism? Okay. I'm going to start with the second question first. So, do I focus on focus less on the Wheel of the Year and more on any other facet of paganism? So, for me, I still kind of honor the, cycle, the 8 Sabbats. I'm aware of really mainly the solstices and the equinoxes are very, aware for me, especially just tracking length of days and just how much light and darkness is around and that sort of stuff. And really following, moon cycles is something else that I'm usually tracking. And then when it comes to, really the Wheel of the Year, I kind of do more location-based work with me following which plants are in bloom, what plants are currently growing, which birds and animals are out. It's more kind of a natural cycle of what's currently present within the environment about me, really tells me where I am kind of in that cycle. So for us here in Brisbane, especially leading up to, it's about maybe a week or a week and a half before Beltane, the jacarandas, which have these really beautiful purple flowers, all burst into bloom. So it's a major thing knowing that Beltane is coming, and then once we shift towards midsummer, all the flame trees, so these beautiful bright red orange flowers all appear, so they all burst into bloom across the city. So the environment kind of tells us really where in that cycle we are currently. And even just, existing in here, we know we want summer to be over because it's so hot here, but now, midsummer's happened, the longest day of the year has happened. The nights are starting to get a bit longer, the days are a bit shorter, and there kind of is that. And within one of my traditions, there is very much a story based around, a mythic arc around the 8 festivals, following the story of the Crescent Crown Goddess and the Staghorn / wolf cloak god, and their story through those expressions there. And for me, I personally engage that, and I know that covens within the tradition will engage that in public ritual or in private ritual as well. So there is that still. And I guess also, within the reclaiming tradition I belong to, we just held, in southeast Queensland, we held a massive midsummer ritual, and there was 4 reclaiming groups within Australia that on the same day all held a midsummer ritual. So it was really amazing and beautiful for that. But I do, like Tyler says, I sometimes become, have poor time management and forget what day of the week it is or where we are in the cycle sort of thing. But even just knowing, just kind of being more observant of the nature around me, really helps me drop in and tap into where I am in the cycle. And in relation to the first question, which I'm just going to bring back up again because my phone locked, have my beliefs ever shifted to a point where I felt I need to change how I identify my practice? Well, it's not really, I guess the only ever really time was when I first started practicing was when I was identifying as an eclectic Wiccan. But since then, it was just more that title didn't fit me because I didn't really work with a god and a goddess. I didn't really work with the hierarchy of high priestesses and high priests, and it was really that entry level kind of Scott Cunningham, Living Wicca, all that sort of stuff, and they were like all the books I had access to at the time, and a lot of those books were really like Wicca tradition inspired or focused books. And since I've kind of become more part of community-based traditions, my path and identity has evolved with that, and like I now identify at least in solidly within two traditions, and then in one of those traditions in kind of two branches of tradition. So there is that. I'm constantly changing, I'm constantly developing. I don't think, like, I'm developing my practice, really. It's more, parts of it are being refined, parts of it are still very wild and raw, and that's fantastic and amazing. And it's really just a development of who I am. So as I grow and change and have life experience, my path and my view and expression and connection to the world changes and develops and grows. And it is that constant process of, a label may still apply even long after I don't use that label anymore, but it could be an identifier that works for someone else. And I think we spoke so much about this in the labels video last year, but it's really just, yeah, that truth about yourself and being true to yourself. And I guess for me, always at the end of the day, like, I work in a nature-based tradition and hold honor and reverence for nature, so pagan is generally the term that really encompasses my practice. And then there's other, like, niche subtitles, I guess, that would be more kind of connected to the particular traditions and branches that I'll work with. So like the reclaiming tradition and the wildwood tradition. But I've also done training in that like other like tradition sort of based things. So like my friend Theo, or G'day Palmer, as you may know him as the author name, them as their author title, did a shamanic craft apprenticeship that I went through, and another friend of mine, Jerry Raven Stanfield, did a revolutionary witchcraft training course. So I've done all that sort of stuff, and I've done training within the traditions I belong to, and do facilitate training in those. And it's really just, I develop and grow and do more training because it's much better than becoming set or stagnant, or it's much better, I enjoy being in a state of flux, but also there is that beauty that comes with refining something and having a solid piece of truth to your practice, and maybe like a virtue or I'm really trying to think what that word I want is, like a pillar within your practice that is pinnacle to your work. And then also, yeah, you can have all the wild and raw and unnameable expressions and development. But yeah, like I said before, just be true to you. You're the only person, you are your own spiritual authority. No one else is above or below you. It is your life, it's your expression, and it's your relationship with the divine, with nature, with God yourself, and just you do you. That's it. So for that, I hope everyone had a beautiful summer and winter solstice, and that so far this Gregorian calendar year of 2017 is going well, and you have amazing, wonderful plans and hopes and dreams, and are slowly wrapping up things from 2016. That's what I always find. This January is usually the month when I will go through and just kind of finish off things that I left undone from 2016 and try to really start afresh in like February, really. Especially, yeah, like with Lunasa and everything. Generally is when I will focus on all that sort of stuff. So I think that is it for now. But I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your weekend, and I will see you next week for another topic. Much love and blessings. Mwah.